Today I'm going to be modifying this diesel turbo to work on my 2002 project. It's an HX30. I decided to use it because I got a hold of the compressor maps for some Holset turbos, and this looked like a really good match. The only thing is I'm going to have to do some modifications to make it work with my application. I'm going to have to change out this wastegate actuator because this doesn't even crack until like 30 psi. I need to pull off the hot side housing and port the wastegate hole so that I don't boost creep, hopefully. I'm also going to cut out a portion of this back plate with the V-band adapter to hopefully make it flow better as well. While I'm at it, I might also remove some of the material on this side of the turbo because it's really heavy, just to reduce the amount of stress on my exhaust manifold. So I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling it now. So this is what I'm going to port out right here, and then you can see on my back piece here, after it comes out of the port, it just kind of hits this flat spot. So I might make a smoother path for the exhaust gas to travel by carving some of this out. It's pretty easy to see how much material I can cut out of there. This is really heavy. I can cut this casting, I can cut these. I can probably cut a lot of weight out of this. So I got it all ported out. I just opened it up to 25 millimeters. When I have the V-band adapter plate on here, and I actuate the flapper, it bottoms out before it opens up very much. So I'm going to see how much material I can take out of the back side of this to get my flapper to open more. Got a lot more motion out of the flapper now. The cold and hot sides are back together and clocked pretty much where I want them. Now I need to change out the wastegate actuator. I need to rob this 90-degree fitting off of here and put it on here. Alright, so I'm going to give you the rundown on the wastegate situation one more time, because it's been a little while since I've messed around with this. I've been busy with some other stuff. So as far as the turbo, I got the charge elbow hooked up. I found a plug that fits that port, so that's good. I've got my wastegate reference port right here set up and clocked properly. I've got the turbo clocked the way I want. I did the porting and everything that you saw earlier in the video. Can't use this. So instead I've got this, which is from an old Garrett. What I'm thinking about doing is installing this wastegate actuator onto the stock mount. And the way that I have to mess around with that is, if you look at the length of the rod on the original one, it's much longer than this one from the Garrett, and in order to extend it I had to find this special piece of my plan here is to use this, because thankfully this little eyelet piece is the correct diameter for the flapper, so I can use this, which is good because this is a different thread, so I would have had to make something. And I'm going to use this coupler nut and then a length of this, and then install this little tie rod piece on the end and make sure that it's got the same range of adjustment as the original so I can mess around with it when I need to, and then install this whole assembly like so. So basically I need to cut this to length, but I'm not going to know what that length is until I do something else. When you look at it, it doesn't fit down in that channel because this has a different type of seal on the end of it than this one. So what I'm going to do is take this channel and hit it with the Dremel until I have enough clearance in there for this mating surface to sit flush, and then I can figure out what my measurement needs to be. Alright, so I got this, I guess, ported out. Now it mounts flush. Now I need to look at the total throw between these two. So I'm going to charge up the compressor and measure the difference in throw and see if there is any. So I measured the effective distance from the face of this flange to the center of this eyelet, and that is 168.5 millimeters. I did some mathematician type stuff, and you don't care about any of that. Basically what I need to do is add 33.5 millimeters of all thread to the rod on this actuator to get the same effective length as the old one, but I can't just cut this to that size because then there's no threads on the inside of this. So what I'm going to do is measure the depth inside of this thing. So I measured the inside depth, and it was about 38 millimeters deep. I'm going to need to cut the all thread to 53.5 millimeters, and then that will give me 20 millimeters of threads inside the rod end, so I have quite a bit of adjustment in either direction. I can hear it bottoming out on the back plate, and I can hear it snap shut. Alright, so now that I have the whole thing bolted together, I'm going to check the fitment. There's not a whole lot of clearance with the fender, but I think I can do a little massaging with a big hammer. It's definitely a squeeze, but it's in there. So from here, all I have to do is make a up pipe, make a feed line. The drain lines for these diesel turbos, when you put them on a gas engine, they don't drain fast enough, and that's why they'll smoke. Like, this is about how big it should be versus this, which is quite a bit smaller. So I'm going to port this out, or just use this one. I haven't really decided yet. I'm going to have to come up with a filtration solution of some type as well. I might just do a screen for the time being. That is a diesel HX30 Super modified to work on a gasoline BMW M10. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. You'll get to see more of this build. Hopefully it'll be up and running soon.